This is Valley News Live at 5.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Valley News Live at 5. Today's weather was a pleasant start, but this is the week where things change. Some thunder showers are already moving in. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch.
Stacy, thanks so much. Good evening and happy October, everybody, as we look out at a colorful view over parts of the FM area. Cloudy skies today, temperatures well above average for this time of the year, but we do have some scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder. Now notice we have mostly cloudy skies for almost the entirety of our viewing area. You see some thunder bolts up there in northwest Minnesota, right along the Highway 11 corridor, all the way from Carlstad to Roseau. We're seeing these showers develop, and just a few rumbles of thunder in Kittson County here, right on the border with Roseau County. These extend south into Marshall County, Minnesota. Everything moving to the northeast, so from southwest rather to northeast, and a few showers in Richland County now, just a few remnant sprinkles in the Cass County area. And again, they're moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So passing showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder. We could see some more showers and storms during the overnight hours. We'll time those out for you here in a minute. Right now, look at these temperatures. A lot of near 70-degree readings. First alert weather days for Thursday night into Friday morning. That's right, a cold blast is settling in, and well, a hard freeze is in the offing. We'll have hour-by-hour details here, Stacy, in just a few moments. But yeah, by the end of the week, you may want to have a few things buttoned up outdoors because we have changes.
Yeah, I'm going to dig out the good coats. All right.
Good idea.
It's time. Thanks, Hutch.
Yeah.
A man is fighting for his life at a local hospital after being shot in the chest Friday night in downtown Fargo. 24-year-old Schuler Ferguson turned himself into police hours after the incident. He's now been charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, and terrorizing. Documents say Ferguson was shooting the gun at people in an apartment without any ammo inside. Ferguson then pointed the gun toward the victim and dry fired. Witnesses say the victim became upset and punched Ferguson in the neck. Documents say Ferguson then stepped back, loaded a magazine into the gun, fired one round into the victim's chest. Ferguson will be seen again in court next month. Another man is under arrest after police say he shot at a vehicle in downtown Fargo. On Saturday around 1:30 in the morning, officers were called to the 400 block of University Drive North for shots fired. Two people told police they were in a vehicle when someone shot at them, then walked away. Officers found 29-year-old Cody Santiago of Fargo with a handgun. The shells in the gun matched the casings found at the scene. Santiago is in jail for aggravated assault. No one was hurt. A Fargo man has been sentenced to more than 10 years in prison after stabbing a woman in February. 28-year-old Tyler Molnar pleaded guilty to attempted murder, aggravated assault, and theft. This morning, a Cass County judge sentenced Molnar to 20 years in prison. He'll be eligible for parole after 13. In the February 12th incident, a flood of witnesses called police after they say they saw a woman jump out of a van on 42nd Street South while it was moving at about 30 miles an hour. When police arrived, they say they found the victim, quote, bloody and hysterical. Court documents say the victim was sleeping in that van when Molnar started yelling at her and threw her phone out the window. He then stabbed her in the shoulder and back. A 4-month DEA investigation into drug trafficking in North Dakota has resulted in the seizure of more than 11,000 fentanyl pills. 3 people have been arrested for their involvement. Authorities say other drugs, including meth, weed, and morphine pills, were also seized. In 2021, almost 108,000 people died from drug poisoning or overdose, 66% attributed to opioids like fentanyl. Last week's tough-to-watch blow to the Miami Dolphins quarterback is sparking conversation on proper concussion protocols for athletes at all levels. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley sat down with 2 local experts on how far head injury care has come, what the protocols look like, and why it's important that parents and athletes don't try to cut corners when it comes to recovery.
When Andy Scott started her career in the early 90s, concussion care was almost non-existent.
Basically, when somebody told you they felt better and they went back to play.
Now there's a multi-step process Scott and her team go through when an MSUM athlete comes in with a head injury, including neurocognitive tests on the computer, balance assessments, and a symptom review.
We test memory by asking them to remember a series of numbers or letters. or words.
Scott says there's no grading of concussions. You either have one or you don't, and says the timeline to return full strength to both the sport and class varies person to person, with an average window of 2 to 4 weeks.
Because even reading or trying to process, like doing a math problem, say, so something where you're really using your brain to process information also can be a big irritant for folks who have a concussion.
Scott says the athlete is then monitored and their symptoms screened each day post-concussion.
You have to be 1 day symptom free, then you start what people call the return to play protocol, and then there's 5 days of that with increasing practice intensity.
Experts say it's common to see athletes try to get back on the field as fast as they can, but say thankfully concussion tests make it nearly impossible to fake your actual condition.
It is not something that you can play through, nor should you play through.
Knowing that you only have one brain to last you your life, we want to try and keep that brain as healthy as we can.
Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Experts say it's rare, but you can have life-threatening effects if you get another concussion while still recovering, emphasizing the reminder to never discount the effects of a concussion. For a 5th straight day, crews in Florida have gone door to door trying to find survivors and victims of Hurricane Ian. The storm now being blamed for 100 deaths in the U.S. Search teams continue to search the hardest hit parts of Fort Myers Beach to find people who might still be trapped. Over the weekend, rescuers took more than 2,000 people and 150 pets to safety. The most fatalities are in Lee County, where officials bristle at the suggestion that they were too late issuing a mandatory evacuation order.
The second that we could and should issue that order, I'm confident that we did. Again, we wouldn't change anything. And also, I also understand that there are some people that don't want to leave their homes. We cannot force them to leave their homes. That's their homes. But we can do everything we can to educate them and make sure they're aware.
The number of people without power in Florida has dropped below 600,000. State officials aim to have all power back on in places where the grid doesn't need to be rebuilt by next Sunday. One of the big highlights of every honor flight to Washington, D.C. is the stop at Arlington National Cemetery. Today, 90 veterans from Minnesota and North Dakota watched the changing of the guard and took a trolley tour of the cemetery. Arlington covers 639 acres and was established during the Civil War. Today's stop at Arlington also included a rare opportunity for Valley News team's Mike Morgan. Tonight at 6, we'll go live to D.C. to hear what one of the guards on duty at the tomb of the unknown soldier told Mike and the area vets. We're finally learning exactly what frontline workers in Minnesota will be getting from the state, and it's about $500. Governor Tim Walz announced these frontline workers will get exactly $487.45 to recognize their efforts and work during the peak of the pandemic. Payments will start going out as soon as this Wednesday, will continue throughout the fall. People had 45 days to apply for the money, which resulted in 1.2 million people submitting an application. If you chose direct deposit into your bank account, the state says you should get that money in 7 to 10 days. If you chose the debit card option, that'll come in 3 to 4 weeks. This evening, a member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa looks to make history at the Miss USA competition. Earlier this year, Sanoa LaRock was crowned Miss North Dakota USA. She's been in Reno, Nevada this past week for the national competition. She's the first enrolled tribal member to represent North Dakota in the competition. She says she overcame adversity growing up, and through her platform, Hope is There, she wants to help other young people believe that they can achieve their dreams regardless of the circumstances.
To represent the Turtle Mountains, and not just my reservation, but Indian country as well. It's important, that Native people are given these platforms, and I'm really excited to hopefully see more Native women compete in the future.
Tribal leadership gave her a special send-off before she headed to Reno. If you want to watch tonight's competition and cheer on Sanoa, it's broadcasting on the FYI cable channel and streaming on Hulu at 7 p.m. The Great Plains Food Bank is in its final week of the Stock the Shelves campaign. They're asking for food or financial donations to get more food to distribute to our community. They're forecasting there will be 1 million pounds of food less to distribute this year compared to last year. If you'd like to help out, we have a link on your VNL News app. A 2021 internal investigation has come to light involving a nude photo accidentally sent by a lieutenant with the Cass County Sheriff's Office to a fellow deputy. Last year, Lieutenant Tommy Ray received a letter of reprimand from Sheriff Jesse Johnner after sending a nude photo of himself to another deputy on his county-issued cell phone. Documents were sent to several media outlets today in Fargo, and we learned through an open records request that the only person who had access to those documents is the person running against Sheriff Johnner this election season, Matt King. We reached out to King for comment, have not yet heard back. Do you have trouble falling asleep at night? If so, you're not alone. We'll have some advice on how to get a better night's sleep still to come.
And First Alert Weather Day is called for Thursday night into Friday morning. A cold blast of air is heading its way. Today, well above average. Temperatures typically peak at 64. We were in the 70s both in Fargo and in Grand Forks today. We'll have hour-by-hour details on some showers and thunder showers this evening and changes late week right after this.